All right, we are recording. All right, WebEx Teams. So WebEx Teams is a little different than WebEx Meetings. All right. If you know Microsoft Teams, if you are a user of Microsoft Teams, you will have no problem with WebEx Teams. If you were previously a WebEx Teams user and you want to learn Microsoft Teams, you're gonna have no problem. WebEx Teams and Microsoft Teams are so similar that they're really great. Microsoft Teams came out just after a little bit after WebEx Teams came out, but it is a collaboration uh, application, right? It's for collaboration. So yes, you can meet in it, but what else you can do is kind of cool. So let me share my content here and make sure that I'm sharing WebEx Teams. All right, so here it is. Here is WebEx Teams. Let me get this little window out of the way. And I'm gonna open up my chat too. That way, if anybody has any questions, I will see those as well. All right, got the chat open. Okay, so here we go. This is WebEx Teams. Now, it's a WebEx product. It's a Cisco product, so it connects to your meetings. All right, so WebEx Teams and WebEx Meetings can kind of connect together. And what happens when you start a meeting in WebEx Teams is it actually kind of starts it in WebEx Meetings, which is kind of cool. But you can see it. It's actually telling me there is a meeting right now in my personal room going on right now. Even tells me all the people that are in that meeting. Okay. So if there are meetings that happen within the Teams format, it will show that there are meetings going on. So I'm going to bring you to my Teams page. This is usually the landing page, which is like the chat area, but I'm going to bring you to my Teams page. And here are all the teams that I am part of. And this looks a lot like Microsoft Teams. All these different teams that I'm part of. Now, back before COVID, we were allowing students to access WebEx Teams. We were allowing students to access WebEx Teams. So I was actually holding my classes in WebEx Teams. So these are actual live classes that I was holding in WebEx Teams. Okay. And I also have a WebEx Teams familiarization page that I'll show you here in a second. And that's one we can kind of play around with. And I also have a practice team. So if you'd like me to, add you to those, just let me know and I'll be more than happy to add you to those. So you can pick a team to go into. I'm going to go into my WebEx familiarization team. All right. And you'll notice I am the moderator on here. Okay. And in WebEx Teams, they have what they call spaces. Okay. So the spaces are the areas that you're going to do chatting in, that you're going to have meetings within, that you're going to upload files within. All of that kind of stuff goes on within those spaces. Right now, I'm not in a specific space. You can see my two spaces over here are general and group. For those of you that are used to Microsoft Teams, it's the same thing as channels. So in Microsoft Teams, it's channels. In WebEx Teams, it's spaces. Cool. All right. So I actually like the word space better than channel. I think space is cool because it is. It's a space. It's an area to kind of play around in. It's fun. All right. So I'm going to go to the general space first. So I'm going to click on general space. And you'll notice there are people that are added to my WebEx Teams familiarization. And here are all the participants or all the people that are part of it. And let's say I wanted to chat with people, right? I wanted to say, hey, y'all haven't been around a lot lately. Like, the last one that was the last people are leaving the team, right? And that's because we backed off on using WebEx Teams with our students, right? But if I wanted to write a message, I could say, hello. Oops. Anyone still there? Right? Okay, and so I will click that, and that now has sent a chat through that team. Now, anyone who has Teams, they might have Teams on their phone. I have it on my phone. They might have it on their computer, whatever. Anyone who has Teams and is part of this team will now get this message. Okay, and so we can stick around for a little bit. Somebody may answer us and say, "Yes, I'm still here," right? So what's nice about this, we use this a lot in CETL. What's nice about it is we can have these sort of live chats. And you can also create different teams for different purposes. Like, we have our CETL one that's specific for academic technology, and then the general one, and then one for, putting things on the agenda and stuff like that, right? So that's how we utilize that. So we can do it, to where we have all these different spaces, and no one has to be like meeting. Like they don't have to be in a live meeting with me right now in order for us to talk. We can talk just via chat. What I love about this and what I loved about it with my students is that my students could chat with me anytime they wanted. They could just ask a question. Hey, Bill, I've got a question. It would come directly to my phone because I've got the Teams app on my phone. So you come directly to my phone and I just go, yeah, the test is tomorrow. You already knew that. Come on. So I could do that. And I love that feature. Now you can do that with Microsoft Teams as well. So like again, if you learn WebEx Teams, Microsoft Teams. They're very, very similar. Okay. I can add a file. So like if I wanted to add an attachment to this discussion, so people could then access that attachment, right? It's really great because I can put a file in here, I can put whatever I want in here and attach it and just, send it out, and then everyone has access to it. They can download it if they want. Everybody has access to it. I can do a little screen capturing in here, although the best for screen capturing is Snagit, but I can do a little screen capturing in here where I can actually show things if I need to. I can change my text. I can do emojis and symbols and stuff like that. I can do GIFs. For those of you that are familiar with Microsoft Teams, hey, there it is right there. And by the way, the Microsoft Teams session is coming up next. So if you want to see that, or find it in the recordings, it'll be in the recordings as well. You can add GIFs, and then you can do specifically at chats. So you can chat specifically to a person or mention someone specifically. Okay. Up here in the top, I can see all the people that are part of my group here. Okay. All the people that are part of my group here. And then content, right? So like if I uploaded, like this is a PowerPoint that I uploaded, any of the content, any of the files, any of the things that I upload will be in this content folder, okay? It'll all sit here in the content folder. And I can do whiteboards in here too. I can have whiteboards in here as well, right? And then I can also schedule. Now, right now, I don't have this connected to my Outlook. I can connect it to my Outlook. I don't have it connected to my Outlook just because really, I haven't been using it as much because, we can't use it with our students. But if I want to schedule a meeting specifically in WebEx Teams, I can do that. And I can schedule it for a certain group, a certain space, any of those kind of things that I want to do. And then there's the add, if I want to add shortcuts to spaces or, anything like that, I can have that. So let's say I wanted to add a shortcut to group one, I could do that if I wanted to. All right. So let's get out of the general for a second. Let's go into group one. So here I am in this group. Now, if I send a chat to this group, it is different than sending it to the general group. See, I've got the hi, anyone still here? And then I've got group one, which only has, well, it's just me, right? There's just me in here. So I'd be literally just talking to myself because there's no one else in this group, right? But let's say I wanted to add people to this group, right? So I have the group here, right? I can go up here and click members, right? So here's all of the members of my team, and I can select specific people if I wanted to assign them to my specific group. I could, okay? I can do that, or I can assign just people specifically to that group. I can go to the people part, right? So here I am in the group. Let me show again. I'm in the group right here, okay? And I want to add just people just to this group in general. Okay, not to the entire space, but just to the group in general. So I can do that and hit add people. Okay. The nice thing about this is as I start typing in email addresses, it's connected to our college directory. So I can start typing in like Carly Brady, for example, and I could select Carly and I could add her to this space if I wanted to do that. Okay. Okay, so then she would be specific to that group. So for example, if I'm setting up groups with my students, right, and I want to set up group one, group two, group three, group four, group five, and I want to specifically add people to the group, I want specific people only to be in that group, then I can add those people to that group, and the only people that will then see that group are the ones that are added to it. Okay, so this is a subdivision of my my overall space, which is the general space. Okay, again, if you're a Microsoft Teams person, exactly the same way, just the wording is different. Channels. That's it. Microsoft Teams uses channels, and WebEx Teams uses spaces. Okay, this will this will also connect in with your Jabber. So if you're using Cisco Jabber, now you can only use it on a college computer. You can't download Jabber to your regular, I'm using my regular computer over here, but I have my college computer right over here. And so my Jabber is always connected to that. And that way, if people dial my office number, which happens actually more frequently than you'd expect, if they call my office number, of course, I'm not in my office, but it comes directly to my Cisco Jabber. And you can connect your Jabber to this as well. That's another video altogether. If you'd like to know more about Jabber, let me know. It's kind of neat. I mean, it's great, honestly. That people call my office number, it comes directly to my computer here. So, and then my calendar, you can see everything that is happening in my calendar today and all the other days. And this does connect directly with my Outlook. Okay, this does connect with my Outlook. You can also, just like you do in Microsoft Teams, you can add specific apps to it. You are not seeing this, so let me share that. You can add specific apps to it if you wanted to add apps. There are some neat apps that you can add in there if you want. Some cost money, some do not. Some require subscriptions, some do not. Okay, so you can add apps into it if you want to. You can kind of make it your own. Let me stop sharing real quick. I'm going to stop sharing. And then I'm going to share again and bring up Microsoft Teams, or excuse me, not Microsoft Teams. See, I'll go back and forth like that. Um, um, Carly and I, when we were talking Teams, we always say, okay, wait, are we talking WebEx Teams or Microsoft Teams? So the other thing is you can see all of the things that I'm part of, and if there are specific chats that come in, then I can answer those chats. So someone can chat with me directly if they want to. They can speak to me directly. They can also call me directly through this app by just hitting this call, and then they can search for a specific person. They can choose audio or video. This works a lot like Jabber. And so they can direct call me if they wanted to direct call me as well. That's great. Like when I'm online, which my Microsoft Teams is always online. And let's say somebody needs to get in touch with me right now. Oh, I got a question right here, right now. They can call me. And of course I can choose to, answer or to not answer the call. All right. And so back to the teams here, So I am going to go into my practice team right here, and I'm going to add some stuff to it. So I'm going to create a new space. Now I can rename these spaces if I want to rename the spaces, but I'm just going to create a new space. So let's create a new space, okay? And I have to name my space. So let's call it group 2. So inventive, Bill. Amazing. Anyway, so group 2, okay, and I can add people here directly. So I could put emails in here. And by the way, you don't have to put an email in the put an email in the put an email in the no. You can just put all the emails in. You put them all in, and then you can hit create, and it'll add them automatically. Now that's the one thing on the back end people usually ask me: is there a way for my course roster to just load into Microsoft Teams? Well, obviously right now, or sorry, WebEx Teams. Obviously right now, can't do that because our students can't use it. But no, at the moment, no, there isn't a way to do that. But it's pretty easy when you start, typing names in. So I'm just going to look for people named Bryce, throughout the college, right? So it'll add in people who are within the college. Now, it's better for faculty and for staff at the moment. So if I wanted to add, oh, here's Raphael. If I wanted to add Raphael, I could add Raphael to that. Okay. So real easy to do. Well, let's not do that right now. I'm just going to hit create. Now there's a group. There's a group right here. Okay. And if we want to meet, which I can't do right now because I'm in a WebEx meeting, but if I wanted to meet, I just click this meet button right here. And then we would all meet together, right? And I can schedule the meeting out if I want to, Or I can click meet and then the students can all, or start, sorry, the faculty and staff can all come in and then there'll be a little join button in there and they can just join that meeting. Okay. So I can do that in my general, I can do that in my specific groups if I want to. All right. And then I can chat within the group. So let's say, you just want that chat to be within that specific group. I can do that. All right. All right. And remember, same thing, I can add team members. So if I wanted to add members to the entire group itself, it will add it to the whole thing. I can click add members here. Or if I just want to add people to the specific group itself, just group 2, I can click add people right here, just to that group. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to see if there's any questions. Questions. Any questions? We got about 10 minutes. So we're doing pretty good there. The question I have gotten is, will this be available for the students at some point? The answer is probably. Yes, probably. Um, I don't know exactly when. And I'll be honest, I think with the breakout rooms, most people are going to want to use WebEx meetings with the breakout rooms. But I have had a lot of faculty say, I would like my students to be able to ask me a question like via text, right? And I don't want to give them my phone number, but I'd like them to be able to text a question to me. And I know there are a lot of students that I'd really like to be able to text a question to my instructor. You could have a WebEx team that goes along with your WebEx meeting, right? So you could create that team, and that's an area where you could upload files and all of those kind of things for your students if you wanted to. Now, I have had people ask, well, could this replace Blackboard? No, no. This is not meant to be an LMS. Blackboard is an LMS, and it is specific, as an LMS. WebEx Teams is not meant to do that. Neither is Microsoft Teams. They're more for meeting and then for compiling some information for those specific teams, right? So not really going to be a replacement for Blackboard. Any questions? WebEx Teams is one of those hit or miss things. I get some people that ask about it. I get some people that are not interested, when we were using it with the students, we are using it quite a bit. When we go back and when we're back in classroom again, for those that are teaching via Classroom Live, not online live, but Classroom Live, where you're in the classroom with the cameras and all of that stuff, WebEx Teams is extremely useful. With the breakout sessions, though, WebEx meetings will probably be just as useful. WebEx is going to be combining everything into one client, it looks like. They're going to have everything sort of combined into one client. So Jabber, Teams, meetings, all that stuff is going to sort of combine into one client at some point. I don't know when that's going to happen, but that has been the discussion, is that, all of those really awesome features will be in one place, which I think is pretty cool. Yeah, we do use it a lot in CETL. We do use it a lot in CETL. And it's really, really helpful. Really helpful for doing a lot of conversation. I used it with faculty too, with EMS faculty. It's a really good way to get information to each other, and files and stuff like that without having to go into the email and all of that, because I could do it from right here on my phone without having to go into email. But a lot of people just use email for that. That's okay as well. And if you have any questions about WebEx meetings, WebEx Teams, any of that kind of stuff, I'm always happy to help. We have some awesome resources in CETL as well. You can email at cetl@madisoncollege.edu. You can email me directly. I know Kate offered. I don't like to offer for anyone else, like email them directly. And they're like, excuse me, Bill. Kate offered in one of our previous recordings. You can email her directly if you have questions. Regarding any of this stuff, get in touch with us. We're more than happy to help you. If there's no questions, I'll give you 5 minutes of your time back. You're very welcome. You are very welcome.
Thank you, Bill.
Yeah, absolutely. Y'all have a great day.
Much
I'm gonna
obliged.
stop. What was that?
Much obliged.
Oh, you're very welcome. Very welcome. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now, and y'all have a great day.